Hi there, people of YouTube. I'm Willow and I'm a pagan witch, medium, cat mum, avid reader and author of the Carpe Noctem series of paranormal romance books. I'm going to start by telling you a little bit about myself today. I've been a witch since I was about 10 years old, when I found that most religions just didn't seem to apply to my beliefs or my way of seeing the world. What can I say? I'm kind of a bit of a rebel and I like to be a little bit different. I took myself off to the library, as I'm too old to actually have had Google in my house at that age, and I looked up lots of different religions until I found the one that seemed to match me the best. The one that kind of like worked with me, with my beliefs, what my moral system was, because I think that's a major thing when it comes to religions, and picking the right one for you. So obviously it worked for me. 24 years later, here I am, still witching. And I've decided that I'm going to try and use my years of experience and knowledge to not only teach you lot a few little bits and pieces, but I also use them to write and to add a lot of it to my books. Because one of the things that I really wanted to read, I'm an avid paranormal romance reader. One of the things that I always wanted to read was books that actually had witches in them that were more like me, that were more real life witches, stuff that kind of had a real pagan theme to it, and that really kind of showed the real belief system of a lot of pagans. And I didn't find that anywhere. So what do you do as a writer when you can't find the things that you actually want to read? You write it. I've always written stories. Reading and writing had always been my favourite pastime. Books, kind of like a bit of a security blanket for me in a way. I kind of always have to have one with me at all times. My worst nightmare is being stuck somewhere, bored out of my brain with nothing to read. I mean, I'm quite a chatty person. I will talk to anybody. But a book is one of these things that if you're having a bad day and you don't really want to talk to someone, you can just hide behind your book. So much easier. And everyone laughs at me because I only buy a handbag if I can actually fit a book inside it. Otherwise, it's not worthy. I do not have it. I spent a lot of time with my grandparents when I was growing up. Weekends and all of the school holidays. And they were quite old-fashioned in the respect that the TV did not go on until after dinner. No videos or computer games in the house, which my younger brother found absolutely horrifying. I mean, he was just like, could not deal with it. But he's like 8 years younger than me, so he kind of hit the computer side a little bit more than I did, being 34 years old. But to me, it was actually really wonderful. It was a really wonderful way of growing up, because you had to use your imagination to play games, or you read a book, or you wrote something, or you did some art. Your brain was your computer, your brain was your toy. And I loved that. And they encouraged me in so many ways. They allowed me to believe in myself and to believe that I could do absolutely anything that I wanted to do. And anything that I set my mind to. So obviously I became a witch that writes sexy vampires. As I said, I've always written stories, or I've told them verbally when my daughter was very young, because she's 17 now and makes me feel old on a daily basis. And I didn't really have time or the energy to hold a pen, let alone write shit down. So it wasn't until I was in my 20s that I felt that I actually had the time and the skills to dedicate myself to my work. I attended a number of writing classes where I learned different writing techniques. I learned how to edit, how to critique, how to review stories, and how to develop my own style. I've been writing seriously for the past 10 years, and now I have a number of contemporary short stories and stories set in my paranormal world on my website, which you can go and read if you want to. They're free. And I also have free books available to buy. Another one out this year. Well, now we're in 2019. And many more on the way. So yeah, I'm hoping this channel will actually develop into a helpful platform for writers, pagans, readers, and people from all walks of life, really. I'll be sharing my experience in both writing and in spiritual matters. So yeah, we're hoping that's going to be fun things to do. So I thought I'm going to tell you a tiny little bit about my world, about the world that I've created, my paranormal romance world. As I said, I'm the author of the Carpe Nocturne book series. And it's a world where the things that go bump in the night are very, very real. I've got vampires, shifters, witches, demons, everything in between. They all live together, they make their work, their home in the world around us. They blend in with mortals, living in secrecy, known to only a few very special people. My books are predominantly romances, but the emphasis is always on strong characters, funny moments, action, and lots of hot sex. Don't be fooled by the sex though, because my books are not erotica. They are not there just for a cheap thrill, and if you want that, there's plenty out there of that, but you won't find it within my covers. Sorry to disappoint you. My books revolve around the story, the world, the mythology and the characters. The sex is just a pleasant extra, which isn't that just what it is in life really, to be honest. My website is a bit of a treasure trove of details about my world if you ever want to go have a look at it. I've got character bios, glossary of different terms used in my books, places, organisations and the mythology of the world that I've literally spent years creating. I've taken all my knowledge of mythology, magic, supernatural creatures, paranormal world and witchcraft to create a really unique magical world that I'm hoping will draw you in and not really want to let you go. My world's all about embracing the unseen, the hidden and the mysterious. Many people have said to me that they kind of shy away from reading supernatural or fantasy books or paranormal romance because they find them a bit unbelievable and quite confusing. Well, I've made sure that my world is nothing like that. My characters are real people, with real lives, real flaws and real problems. It just so happens that they've got this little bit extra sort of paranormal element to them. I've had quite a few people that have said to me that they weren't sure what to expect when they read my books. Like I said, not having ever read paranormal romance before, or kind of shied away from it, or just not really having an interest in it. But once they've actually read the first book and they've kind of delved into it a little bit, they found that the paranormal aspect of it is sort of an underlying theme more than the entire thing itself. So if you don't read that sort of thing or you're not into it, give them a go anyway, because you never know, you might find that it's a genre that you're really, really going to like. So that's all for my little introduction of my first hello. I'm going to be popping back with lots of writing tips and other bits and pieces, spiritual stuff. I'm going to be on with spiritual guru, let's do that, that'll be fun. I'm going to talk some witchcraft things. I'm always open to questions, and I will try and give you the best answers that I possibly can, because especially on the witchcraft side of things, like I said, I've got a lot of experience in it, not just having been a pagan for so many years, but I also run a moot. In case you didn't know, is a meeting of pagans or witches and things like that, and we hold it in our local pub, and I've been running that for an organisation called Children of Artemis for nearly 13 years now. And I teach paganism there. I run open group rituals, acting as high priestess. I also help lots of different people as they get onto the path. I've also been a key consultant for one of my friends who was doing her dissertation on witchcraft in popular culture, but also in other cultures as well as sort of the more Western world. So yeah, I've got tons of experience in it, and I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to share some of that with you guys. So I do apologise for either the quality of this video, the fact that I'm babbling, or the fact that I probably look like death today because I've had a very long day and just got in from work. But you know what, we're all real people, we're all good, so we're just going to go with it. So until next time, all I can say is blessed be and happy writing.